Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shoulder Tap. This is Ben, but first, Eddie, hit it.
Here we go again.
I demand more. I want it. I need it.
All right. You know what that sound means. It means it's the Fire Drill remix. This is your last chance. We're going to pin something to the chat shortly. It's a form. This is your last chance to put your name in for one of 2,500 invites to lock in up to 550K Topstep X trading combines for $129 each month until you earn funding or for the life of your evaluation. Not your life, because that could go on a long time, like the woman who was 105 and got her master's. The winners will receive their code by the end of the day on Monday, June 24th, via email. And this form will be open until 12:20. Enjoy. With that, Ben, what's up? It's Friday.
Hey Jack, what's going on? Just so everybody knows, we didn't communicate about the color scheme, but we're wearing looks like very similar colors on the
Very,
broadcast. So
yeah, similar indeed. I have a cool pattern
yeah.
on here, but you won't be able to see it live. I'd have to push it up to the. Anyway, it's Friday. We got nice shirts on. Um, we took a little bit of a stumble, it appears, in the house account right before Top Quiz today. But how is the rest of our trading community doing here, Ben?
Yeah, so as always, there's going to be people up big and down big, but on the whole, I think it's really interesting to look at, how the whole of our live trading community is doing in an individual day and specifically over a week. And it's been, all things considered, a really good week for our live funded traders. Lots of big P&Ls and several days where we've had significantly more green on the boards than red. So live traders have had a great week, including today. We've got a lot of people up considerably. We took the daily loss limit in the house account. That'll happen. Sometimes as a group, we have conflicting opinions or just pick the wrong trade, the wrong location. But overall, our individual traders doing quite well. Deanna's up $450 today. Dakota's up 36,000. That was realized profits. I know he's in a sizable trade now that might be against him a little bit, but we'll see how that plays out. Tanya trades up almost the exact same amount 2 days in a row, up $1,300 today and same amount yesterday. And Raphael, man, we've been talking about him quite a bit. Raphael S up $10,800 in his live account today as well. So between yesterday and today, that's up $54,000 just in live. Got a piece to say about him once we wrap this up, but Ryan H is up 5,200. Priyan's up 1,700. Love seeing Priyan up money. We've communicated with him quite a bit the last couple of weeks. And a different Raphael P up 4,600. So honestly, too many to list. We'd spend all day listing the live traders that are up green, small green, big green. There's a lot of it today. And really happy about that. Just a quick piece about Raphael. I know Brett was on yesterday. He kind of broke the news of the massive day. I had reached out to Raphael. Brett and I spoke, and I gave Raphael a call. And he's in Israel. I was concerned there may have been, time difference or language or who knows what kinds of things could have come in the way. But he picked the phone right up, and while his position was still on and live, up $44,000, and we were talking out, the fact, number one, congratulating him, talking about what his strategy was, exit plan, and making sure that he takes more than half of those profits home with him. And I was really, really impressed. I make a lot of those calls to people that are up, $10,000, $20,000, $40,000 plus on the day on an intraday basis. And Raphael was one of the most calm people I've ever spoken to that had an open position of that size and that much profit. So was really happy to hear the calmness in his voice. Talk to him about, what he was looking for as far as his profit target. And he proceeded to explain to me a very structured trade plan. He said, I'm, looking for this profit target based on these reasons. We're almost there. So I'm sitting in the trade and I'll make sure to cinch the profit, the stop loss up to make sure that I take home that money. Overall, I was incredibly impressed with his poise. He was 85% of the way to his profit target, has $44,000 of realized or unrealized profit sitting on his screen. and just felt like a truly professional trader who knew what he was looking for, put the trade on, and let it ride out. So can't say enough about that conversation, about his performance yesterday, and then to come in again today. I think the day after big winning days, traders are particularly vulnerable. Not Raphael. He put up another $10,000 today. So Raphael, if you're listening, huge congrats. Make sure you're taking that 10 grand home. And this is also excluding the XFA profits. Raphael's getting an additional XFA called up to his live account as of yesterday. That XFA hit $50,000 profit cap. He's been trading, lights out with big size recently. And so he's going to have another $25,000 added to that minimum, added to that live account here shortly. All in all, Jack, he's traded for over $100,000 of profit between his XFAs and his live account balance, live account profits in the last 2 days. Truly fantastic trading. And definitely we're monitoring closely, and we want to see him keep that and make sure it hits his bank account going forward. So, anything you'd like to share about that developing story over the last 2 days?
That's freaking huge. I'm not surprised. I feel like you need to have ice water in your veins to be able to hold a position for, to make 100 grand in a day like that. Out of curiosity, do you ever call anyone who's up big and they're freaking out?
I not usually freaking out. It's more total jubilance, right? Joy, being overjoyed, which again is concerning because you can start to tell yourself different tales when you're up big money or down big money as well. It works both ways. So more so, it's I'm interested in knowing what the exit plan is. If I see that you're up $25,000, I want to know where we're getting out, how we're going to scale out of that position. If you're looking for a particular profit target, great. How are we going to move that stop lower in a responsible way so that we're still locking up? If you're up 30 grand, the idea that you wouldn't take home $15,000 or more from that trade is irresponsible. There's just no good excuse for it. And so those are the types of conversations that we want to have. It's not so much, hey, you need to close your position now. It's how are we going to get out in a profitable way? How are we going to maximize profit? And what is the actual strategy? What is the trade plan to accomplish that? So those are the types of conversations we have. Oftentimes what's concerning is not having a clearly defined exit. I'm looking for $50,000 in profit in this account. Well, that's not a trade plan. That's you trading your P&L, and tells me it's more likely we need to actually get out of the trade right now. That's a pretty good sign that you're emotionally checked out in a way that could lead to giving back a significant amount of that profit.
I was curious about after taking it all that way, why he got out then, because I was talking to Brett about it yesterday. He closed that position while we were on air, I think, for shoulder tap. But it's good to hear he had a plan. And I take it we're going to talk about at least a few people today that also have plans, and maybe one that does not have such a plan. Maybe more than one, because we will roast at least one trade later. But what are we doing on these cards today?
Yeah, let's jump into the first one. So much less fabulous tale for Jesus, our live trader. If we can get the card for Jesus up. Jesus has been a live trader with us, someone who we featured on air a number of times for large P&L days, and ultimately lost his live account, which we hate to see. Jesus hit the maximum loss limit in his 150K live account. And you'll see from the numbers that it's just not a winning recipe. Thankfully for me, for a lot of our traders, you don't have to know really complex mathematics to be able to understand what type of trajectory your P&L and your account balance are on, right? It's your winners need to outpace your losers. And whether that's through a high win rate or a high, there's that nexus of win rate and reward to risk ratio that has to equal a positive expectancy, or if it's upside down, you're seeing a negative expectancy where you will eventually lose money over time. And that can be related to a trading strategy. I think oftentimes it relates to similar to what we're talking about as a risk of trading your P&L. I think there's probably an element of that with Jesus. He's traded with us in the live account for 60 trading days. And by far the most brutal part about this is not taking a payout. There's a reason that I come on here. I have the privilege to come on once a week or more in Mick's absence, and just bang the table about taking payouts, because the money isn't real until it hits your account. More than anything, TopStep wants to put money in our traders' pockets. We want you to be rewarded for the hard work that you do. And trading 60 days in a live account, especially with the profitable days that Jesus ultimately had in this account, Jack, if you're going down that list, he qualified for a payout relatively early on, and actually had two back-to-back had a back-to-back winning day of $10,000 each, made 20 grand in 2 days when he qualified for a payout, and didn't take that payout. So you're looking up and down that trade report, which is pretty extensive with 60 trading days. It's long streaks of daily loss limits, couple of big winning days, kind of just treading water. But again, ultimately having that negative expectancy based on the trading and the statistics, a 2-to-1 risk to reward, reward to risk ratio is excellent as long as you have, a 40% or greater win rate. With a 20% win rate, 22% in this case win rate, you are not going to be able to outpace those losing streaks that you find yourself on with that type of a reward to risk ratio. So don't want to beat up on Jesus too badly. I know that, clearly from what he did in the XFA and what he's shown to be capable of a few of these days, can trade profitably, but having, money in the bag, so to speak, and not actually hitting the ringing the register and taking it home in the form of a payout is really tough to see. There's also just a lot of erratic trading behavior when you look at the full volume of these trading days on the trade report. There's not a lot of rhyme or reason to the number of contracts, the number of trades, the trade durations. We see a 28-minute average hold time on winners and 11-minute average hold time on losers. But there's days where it's a 3.5-hour hold time, for winners, and there's a day where it's 45 seconds hold times on the winners. Not to say that you can't have different strategies, but when there's so much variability, day to day or even within the same week, it's cause for concern. It's something that, we as a risk team want to build additional fail safes and alerts even to notify us when someone's kind of treading water in this way. Reach out. We want to have more outreach for situations like this where, we see, again, featuring them on TopstepTV for having a big winning day, but ultimately to have 3 daily loss limits following it that eliminate that big winning day. So cautionary tale for all of our traders, and Jesus, just some words of encouragement. This is not the end. I know we've talked about a lot of offboardings lately. You can certainly get back on the horse. Thankfully, Topstep enables you to be able to do that. Only do that when you're ready. Don't jump right back into it, because it's a whole lot of work that you've done without paying yourself on it, and it's time to reflect a little bit before you jump back in and create a strategy for how you're going to trade profitably and then pay yourself as a result of that. Anything that stands out to you here, Jack, on the trade reports?
If you saw me counting, I mean, I do. I don't know if it's a right emotion to say. I do feel like I feel horrible for Jesus in this, given not taking the payout of these 60 days. And this count, it took me a while to count, and I'm not sure if I'm right on this, but I counted at least 38 of those 60 days that were DLLs. I hesitate. What I was going to say is, when we were reviewing, to make these numbers work out, you got to be, your big days have to be that 40K thing, right? If you're going to have which, the 38 loss limits, but I think the highs that I see is, it's a long one to look through, some 12K days, some 10, 14 I see. But really, I think you're right that I don't know. I almost want to hold off. It seems that there may not be a ton of strategically going on, but I would just I don't know.
Yeah,
He already feels bad.
what I
Yeah.
I hear you. It's important to to approach these situations with some grace. Trading is extremely difficult. Trading a live account is extremely difficult, especially with the amount of leverage that these accounts enable you to place. 15 contracts in a 150K account is an enormous amount of leverage that you're utilizing, and of course that works in both directions, in profit and in loss. But far too often, we see traders that are in these live accounts who are taking what might be a good trade idea or a profitable trade idea that's been working for them, a few days in a row, and now they want to, triple their size and go from 5 contracts to 15. And you have in the Nasdaq, which is what Jesus is trading, with a 15 contract position, you've got what would it be, 3,000. You've got 10 points of room before from where you place that trade before you get stopped out based on the daily loss limit. The Nasdaq moves a whole lot. It's really difficult. You got to be really seeing the market clearly and sniping your trade locations in order to not get stopped out before that trade idea has room to work. So even the traders who that's not really a strategy of like relying on that daily loss limit and feeling like you're backstopped by it. And I'm just going to swing for the fences and have 20 or 30K days. There are traders that have done that even better than Jesus was able to. Hughes comes to mind, our French trader who thankfully took a lot of money out of the live account as well. But, he would post 25, 30, $40,000 profitable days with some consistency. But all it takes is, going on tilt, having a 10-day streak of daily loss limits. Now you've erased a $30,000 winning day. So it's not something I encourage. I say trade small. Make sure you have profitable trades, and then find some qualifiers for those A+ trades, right? Identify the conditions where you've got an A+ trade, and then we can lean into some size and maybe have a 10 or a 15K day. But that's my take on it, my opinion. I look at a lot of these accounts, live, XFA, and otherwise, and even the people that, again, lean on that DLL a little too hard and can have some big winning days, eventually most of the time it ends up in a situation like this where a losing streak just kind of knocks you out of the game. So
Cool.
that's all I have to share on that one, Jack.
Sorry, they're counting on how serious I look right now. It's more that I'm not usually looking at like a 60-day trade report, but good stuff. Well,
Yeah.
we'll move on. Who do we got next?
Yeah, let's move on to Praveen. Praveen has been trading fantastically, and we, as of yesterday, called up 3 XFAs for Praveen. So we're featuring the statistics from one of those XFAs. You can multiply the numbers that you see here by 3 since he was copy trading those accounts. Trading very well, and I believe that should be from New York, Pondicherry, New York, but we'll move past that. 82% winning days and 83% winning trades. This is a really kind of textbook example of like very high win rates and pretty low reward to risk ratio. So the reward risk ratio is only 0.5 to 1. So average winning trade is $195, and average losing trade is $355 loss. But just to compound on that, those numbers, those ratios are reflected in the average winning day and average losing day, as well as the best winning day and the worst losing day. So the best winning day being $1,400, worst day being the daily loss limit of $3,000. So they've shown through a body of work of 34 trading days that they are capable of sustaining that high win rate and still coming out profitable. There's a lot of different ways to skin the cat, as they say. And this is one of the more efficient sides of that spectrum, having high win rates and lower reward to risk ratio. One thing that I want to caution Praveen is you're susceptible to losing streaks with this type of trading. So it's excellent. I'm happy to see 34 trading days of profitability and taking payouts. He's taking $6,000 in payouts in this single account, so you multiply that by 3. But you got to monitor those win rates going forward. If you catch yourself on a string of losing trades, losing days, it might be good to take a day off, pause, reflect. Is this strategy still working? Do I need to, pivot or try something different? you don't want to read too much into that necessarily, but a string of losing trades when your risk reward to risk ratio is flipped in this way, you can really give up some progress, some great progress in your account with just a few short trades or days. So monitor that, and then find ways to compound those winners. So you can either put on more size on some of your best trades. You can find a way to leave runners on those trades. I think that's really the next step for Praveen in elevating this P&L overall, is find ways to milk more out of your winners, because clearly managing the downside with an average losing day of about half of the daily loss limit, managing the downside is not a weakness for Praveen. We need to lean into, that's a strength. We need to lean into how can we make more on the winning trades. So that's kind of a quick snapshot on Praveen. What do you have, Jack?
Well, not a size problem. I just want to, very different card, very consistent. I wonder if he's trailing stops with, just to achieve such a high win rate on the trades. But, it's kind of the opposite, where I'm looking just like the last 4 days, one trade, one contract, each of the last, well, and then June he traded a little bit more, but I'm seeing a lot of like 1 and 2 trade days. Everything that's going down this list looks very consistent as far as the P&Ls. Not a lot of excessive losses. No, I think it's a really good card. I'm glad he's taken 3 payouts, and he's in 3 of these accounts, as you said.
Yes.
Great stuff. Glad he got paid.
Yeah, definitely. Always good to see our traders getting paid. I think we've got a little bit of time if we want to pull up a card. So we've had, for those who may be joining us for the first time on Friday, like doing a brief segment called Roast My Trades, where we put out a form. Folks fill that form out, and they have volunteered and elected to have their trading roasted by Jack and myself. So we're going to pull up this card. It's all in good fun. No hard feelings here, but we are going to have some fun with it, and hopefully give a little bit of insight on how to improve going forward. So we've got Keen D, if we can pull up the card for Keen. So Keen's trading, this particular trading he asked us to review, trading in a 50K trading combine that's actually ineligible currently. It's already
Shocking.
hit the max loss limit. We've got a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio and a 20% win rate. That's a recipe for quick losses. You are not going to be profitable with that type of trading behavior. Hold times are 4 times as long as on the losers as they are on the winners. Also not great. Kind of tells me that maybe there's some scared trading going on. You can use a practice account if you're trying stuff out, or if you just want to spam out some trades. Do it in a practice account. Don't do it in your trading combine that you're paid for and you're eligible for funding in. Use a profitable trading strategy in that combine. And neither of the 2 trading days, we had 2 DLLs back to back, and the account was toast in 2 days. Neither of those trading days had a positive P&L at any point. Keen put on a losing trade and then more losing trades. So back to our point of emphasis for this week. Our coaching tip is plan your trades, create a trading plan, and that would help Keen out a lot. I'll let you rip a little bit, Jack.
I'll take it away. I'm glad Keen's a good sport for sharing this. It's only 2 days, which does not a pattern make, but boy, they sucked. So this card is a great example of the difference between precision and accuracy, as you in the comments may be aware. All right, Keen's precision with his daily P&L is unparalleled, right? He lost the same amount of money to the cent on both days, $1,007.40, while trading 70 contracts per day, no less, which is absolutely incredible to do. His accuracy needs work, though, because the target in trading is to make money. Incidentally, your 20% winning trade percentage is completely whack. When you enter a trade, Keen, you are literally closer to Justin Timberlake's blood alcohol content than you are to a coin flip as far as winning goes. 20%. That sucks. In this account, Keen is held into winners for an average of 1 minute and 47 seconds, which is closer to the average watch time for a video on Pornhub than it is to a sensible trading strategy. But I love how you're sticking to the NQ, though, even though you two have the most toxic relationship imaginable. things are being thrown. The police are stopping by for noise complaints twice a week. But gosh darn it, Keen, you still love her. Keen, she's taking your money. She's treating you like dirt and then spending the night with Dakota. It's time to end it, bud. Set yourself free. Take a break. Find a new product. Get on with your life. Hopefully trade better next time. Hopefully these 2 days, Keen, are just an aberration and you're not a psychopath. So thanks for being a good sport about it. We love you, Keen. That's what I got on this dump of a card.
You're an animal, Jack. One of a kind. Thank you for that.
Perfect. All right. That's how we roast trades. If you want to be roasted, well, once again, we're about to take down, or we already did that form for Fire Drill. We got some more stuff, including a free reset coming out next week to celebrate our 100K subscribers. Stick around because we got Anne Marie joining our studio to be with Robert Dolby, and then Andre Dolby, Hogue, and Coach Sunshine Ray are going to be here for Power Hour. You won't want to miss that. If you want your trades roasted, if you are a masochist like that, we'll put out a forum from time to time, all in good fun. Ben, love your shirt. Have a great weekend.
Likewise.
Okay, we'll be back right after this break. See you soon.